Hey traders, this is Christian from Hertz Tribeca Trade Group with your end of day market recap. So another breakout day, another new record in the indices, and another day where they get more overbought. So, just looking at this chart, massive breakout from the top of value here. And it's kind of been tough. Sometimes it's easier, when when you hear everybody on financial media and Twitter and so forth. It's not easy staying long this market, and it's a lot easier said than done. And hindsight is 2020. Holding this market after one, two, three, four, five, six straight days on the break of value, not easy to do, but we've been doing that in the Tribeca Trade Group. We've been kind of just reading the tape and noticing what's been going on in terms of buyers. I am getting very itchy, I would say, at this market move here. The RSIs are really getting overbought here on the daily chart, which I said this yesterday, and I said this the last two nights, especially in the Qs. But you can see in S&P we've got an RSI right now of a 78. Normally, when we get here, we usually do a little bit of digestion, but man, they just keep buying. And it's the same thing. That's not gas. I don't want that. I want Nasdaq. Continuing, and this one has just been straight up and to the right, 45-degree angle, and we are now a 81 or 82 RSI on this. Small cap's a little bit different of a picture still. IWM just starting to make that move higher. So, if you want to if you want to be long this market, I think IWM is not a bad place to do it. But I think we are um, eventually going to get a little bit of a pullback. I did not put on any shorts today. I did not sell credit spreads, but I will be looking to do that tomorrow. I just think we're a little bit too overbought. I took a couple new trades today. I went long WY. I detailed a trade on NVIDIA today, which I'm not going to go over because I shot a separate video on that. But this is a name that we've seen repeat call buying in. Really nice signal to this. So, if we continue to see large call buying like we did today, I mean, there's some really interesting trades today. The first thing that we noticed was nice outperformance this morning in the Chinese internet names. KWEB is the ETF for that space, and this continues to go to move higher after surpassing the 200-day moving average. We've been seeing repeat call buying in JD.com. As this thing just took out the highs and just got over this area of resistance. Also, Momo was another name that we saw call buying in. Small call buyer in this one. The bigger call buying has been in JD.com. They've been going after this name like once every week and a half, I would say. There was some nice March 30 calls in here. There was also a nice spread that went up. This is January 35 40 call spread. As I mentioned late in the day in the trading room, I feel more comfortable in high volatility names like JD.com and something like call spreads. So JD.com was a nice day trade in the room. I don't own any more of this. I got out of JD.com, but I might be looking to put that call spread on. Something that you could always kind of keep in your back pocket with JD.com because it doesn't always respond right away to the call activity. But real nice outperformance. That was the first thing. The first couple of hours of the day, there wasn't really anything that was over, majorly over, let's say, a 0.5%, 75 basis points, except for the Chinese internets. And then biotech just really heated up here. This is something that we've been profiling the last couple of days. We saw that real big call buyer yesterday in IBB, and we also saw call activity in a couple different names. The Bristol Myers. Where's this IBB order? Yeah, this was over $1 million trade yesterday. Real chunky long play in biotech. And you go back, I've been showing these charts on a nightly basis as an area that I really thought would catch up. IBB rate, best performing group of the day, up 1.8%. You also go to the XBI ETF, and it was the same thing there. There, I've got a nice trend line drawn, but up 1.8% and really moving nicely above this trend line that I've got drawn. Also, same thing. You could, I like it when a couple of things on my charts line up perfectly, and the downward trend line that the price got over, as well as the retest of the top of value and breakout. So, real nice move in biotech. which we caught in the Tribeca trade room. What else outperformed today? Banks started the day off pretty strong again. Not a huge move in the banks. I think a couple of them came in, like Goldman came in a little bit off the day. Kind of a little interesting candle here in the XLF. Kind of looks like a hanging man candle. Could be a short-term top is in the financials. I'd be a little bit wary of that. Look at KRE, the regional banks. Similar looking candle, not quite as pronounced as the XLF one. And then one other thing to note, look at the VIX today. VIX up 11.5%. I don't see too many people talking about this, but it did close right on the highs today. So could be a little bit of an indication that we've got a little bit of volatility coming on the horizon. Again, I will be looking to first thing tomorrow morning if we don't sell off, hard right off the bat, is to sell a little bit of out of the money call spreads on this market. Either going out to next week or maybe going out a couple weeks. We'll see how the pricing lines up in that. Other trades that we did today, I put a couple earnings trades on. CERN, beautiful trade that we took yesterday. Those were the March 52.5 calls. I'm out of those for 315 in at 183. I mean, that's an awesome trade for one day. There's the NVIDIA calls puts credit put spread that I sold. Again, I've got a separate video on that one. Did a couple earnings trades, and then look at this trade in EWA. Just took this off. I'm not out of this trade yet. I'm going to try to let this winner run a bit. EWA, you can actually see a red bar here, but closed on the highs, up 1.36. Yeah, a nice breakout in Australia. And, I think that's what a lot of people have been noticing here. You got a lot of VPOCs up here, by the way. But not just the U.S. is rallying. I thought today wasn't going to be much different than what we've seen by, just coming in the morning and seeing what international markets are doing. When you come in and you see China up over 1%, you saw Australia up 1%, the Nikkei up 1%, and then you right before we open, you see a lot of green in Europe as well. So, it's not just the U.S. that's going up here, and I think it's a lot of positives there. What else do we have today? Bonds were weak. The economics was extremely strong today, showing that's also kind of gave us a lift. Just about every stat that came out except for the industrial production. But Empire Manufacturing strong. CPI showing an uptick in inflation. Retail sales an uptick there as well. The expectations for an interest rate hike have jumped up. Before Yellen spoke yesterday, it was about a 30% chance of a rate hike. That jumped up to 44% chance. So we are showing that there's more of a chance of an interest rate hike, which could very well come in March. I think this number, like I talked about in last night's recap, is still too low. So I think this needs to be around 65% for what the data that's coming out. So that could also, I'm always trying to think about what could bring this market down, or what the risks are in the market. Other trades, I'll just kind of finish it here. A nice trade in PRXL. That was a nice trade today in the trading room. We talked about JD, LUV, multiple call buying in this particular name. We talked about WY. I didn't go into individual names in the biotech names, but some of these beaten up names, really a big rally from the lows. I mean, Gilead was up over 3% today. Again, these are all counter trend trades. Gilead ran right into resistance today, so I'm not long this name, but I would not get long here at 69.80, right into resistance, bottom of value. Teva, which I can't type, up 5.3%. So this one's now breaking out of this downtrend. Again, below the 200-day moving average. So this is, again, a group as definitely a counter trend trade. This isn't a downtrend. It is trying to get out of this, but, you can participate. Like, personally, when I participate in counter trend trades, they're going to be a lot smaller size than my normal trend trades. But, maybe this one's got a little bit further to go now that it's above value. So if you want to be long Teva, your support is 35.10. That's your top of value if you interested in playing that one. Similar story in ENDP. Another name that's just gotten smoked lately, just huge name, a huge move, up 8%. So some of these things maybe got a little bit too cheap, and you can kind of see them rallying from the lows. Let me see if there was just a number of other trades to focus on. There was a nice trade for March. This is a risk reversal. They bought calls and sold puts. We also saw calls and lows. We also saw more calls and repeat buying in CSX today. Look, there's actually almost 13,000 contracts that traded on the March 48. CSX has been kind of settling in on this big move up here. Maybe somebody thinking that this could go still higher above value. I would probably watch the close of this bar as well as the all-time high or the year high 49.13 for a continuation higher in CSX. So that's it for tonight's video. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow in Tribeca Trade Group room. Have a great day.